Today, we are going to break down a pair of iconic and popular moccasins. Stay tuned. These are CLARKS Wallabees Cup, and they really hit the spot between sneakers and dress shoes. Take a look. Okay, maybe you have not considered this before, but let me walk you through their design and build particularities, and at the end, you can start loving them or hating them, because being indifferent doesn't really suit their style. But first, let's give this a bit of background by taking a short walk down history lane. It all started in 1825 in the village of Street in Somerset, England, where the company's headquarters remain even today, and C&J Clark International are doing business as CLARKS. The company was founded by Cyrus Clark, and by 1828, as the business had grown, Cyrus appointed his younger brother James Clark as an apprentice, hence the C&J initials in the company's name. Because the business was at first focused on making rugs using a new technique out of sheepskins instead of pulling off the wool, James began utilizing the offcuts that were too short for making rugs to produce the company's first footwear, known as Brown Petersburg slippers. During the first half of the 20th century, CLARKS established a reputation for quality children's footwear, and in 1950 the company's most famous shoe to this day was released, that being the Desert Boot, designed by Nathan Clark, the great-grandson of James Clark. The Wallabees, from which the pair I have with me today is derived from, have been released in 1967 and were based on the 1964 launched German moccasin model known as the Grasshopper. The Wallabees became iconic and popular and are closely tied with the Rude Boys movement as part of their popularity in Jamaica, and also being adopted by the 60s mods culture, and after tracing a big wave of Jamaican immigrants to US, in the 70s they began to be widely adopted in New York as an alternative to wearing sneakers and jeans, and as a way to be casual but not to look like a scrub, and those were the words of rapper Slick Rick. In the 90s they became the icon we all know today thanks to the big artists in the music industry like The Verve, and especially to the hip-hop stage, this being worn by Wu-Tang Clan, Notorious B.I.G., Run DMC and many others. The Wallabees are also famous for being worn throughout the show by the character Walter White in the AMC's Breaking Bad series. The Cup model I have with me today, which I personally like better than the original Wallabees, has a slight design difference but preserves the same DNA and continues Clark's historic shoe legacy. Okay, let's talk appearance. These feature a simple, uncluttered and stylish stance silhouette with minimal high-quality stitching, and style-wise, they sit just between sneakers and dress shoes. You can find these in a dozen of colorways, both for men and women, and also in the low version that you can wear as slippers, and boots version that are slightly higher than the normal version, and the highest of them all, the high model that is only made for women. Unlike the original Wallaby, these feature a heavy crepe wraparound, yummy, that is dyed in white, and the white strap detail stitched in the back. The interior is done in shades of tan, and on the outsole we can find more crepes. The upper is beautifully finished in a strip of leather that was turned and sewed to the exterior. An extra piece of leather is sewed on the inside in the heel area to provide support and make the hindfoot stiffer. I find these to have a lower cut than the originals, and what I like the most about this, as opposed to the originals, is the wider, thus more stable sole that won't let your toes hover on the outside of the sole. Also, this design does slightly more to protect your upper from becoming instantly dirty in those lower exposed parts that the originals feature. These shoes need no branding at all, as their silhouette and signature squared toes area, together with the two laces eyelets on each side, can be spotted from miles away, but on the interior, a golden CLARKS Originals text can be spotted on the sock liner, and that's basically it. Oh wait, what I find to be a very quirky and maybe having no purpose at all, other than to dangle like curtain tassels tassels is the pair of triangle leather fobs that came with the shoes and feature Clarks Originals branding on one and Wallabees onto the other. Maybe these are meant to resemble the famous loafers tassels? While you think about that, let's move on and discuss the materials used for this. The pair I'm holding features a nubuck upper that is a top grade leather that has been buffed to have a velvet-like feeling. I have to say, thickness-wise, this one sits in boots league and the leather is top quality, and indeed, it feels soft to the touch and malleable to the feet. You can also find this model with suede uppers and cow leather uppers with tortoiseshell hair. These shoes are almost built as moccasins, meaning that a lengthier piece of leather wraps around your foot and goes just under the insole, and it is sewed to the top upper piece on each side. This way, the classic stroble stitching is gone, and that brings with it more comfort and an overall more solid build. Speaking of stitching, maybe the most important one sits in the forefoot area and keeps the whole upper in place. So this shoe is basically made from only two pieces of leather. That is unusual in today's market. The tongue, that is one piece of thick leather that goes all the way to the front, is short on the ankle side, non-independent and non-cushioned. The interior lining is made from sheepskin, and the non-removable insole features a soft foam inside, and it ends just above the half of the shoe. This foam is the only padding that these shoes feature on the inside. The crepe wrap and outsole are made from very little processed natural rubber, as little as possible, so that it would be suitable to wear on the street. To keep this lightweight and also to reinforce the midsole, a rigid foam filling was placed between the insole and outsole. Features-wise, first of all, I find this to be able to easily mingle with various outfits without being too casual or formal. Also, these are very well built and the true craftsmanship really shows, with not too many things that could fall apart fast, except for maybe the sole, on which I wouldn't bet for the long run. Also, this one will get dirty instantly and will be a pain trying to clean the dirt off. One great feature and also a high quality design detail is the technique used for sewing the upper leather to the bottom one, wrapping it around and sewing through three pieces of leather. This upper will not fall apart anytime soon, and also this contributes to keeping the water outside of the shoes. And speaking of water, you have to know that with these, like any other nubuck or suede upper shoes, maintenance is a big part of owning them, and you'll have to waterproof and clean them frequently. Rain won't be gentle on them, so if you live in a place where precipitation is hard to predict, maybe you should avoid buying this. On the bright side, nubuck is well known for withstanding wear like a champ. Still on the bright side, the leather overlay that is sewed in the heel area to make it supportive will be almost impossible to tear through, like it usually happens with sneakers. This is great, I hate it when that happens. What I have also discovered to be great about this is that the rubber sole is malleable and bouncy and acts like a spring, and that could translate in energy return for your strokes while walking. We have seen this spring action having a huge effect on walking on the Adidas Ultra Boost 21 that I have reviewed in the past. An also nice feature, which is always greatly appreciated, is the extra pair of laces that accompany these, that color-wise are very similar to the first, with a gray thread insertion. These do not seem to be made from a different material, but definitely feel different, not as soft and malleable, and also made as sneakers laces, not moccasins ones. You should also consider that these shoes have a heel height of 30 centimeters and will make you look taller. Now, scrolling to the reviews on Clarks website, these have a rating of 4.3 out of a total of 5 stars from 32 reviews, from which 22 reviews are 5 stars and only 3 are 1-star ones. In the how do they fit department, these are mostly reported to be true to size, with only few reviews reporting them as being too big. Also, reviewers consider these to be a good fit in width. Okay, let's draw conclusions. In the end, these are derived from an iconic pair of shoes and successfully carry on their popularity into the future. I do believe that these are a comfortable alternative to those who do not want to wear dress shoes, either because of their lack of comfort or the formal look, and I consider them to be a safe bet for your wardrobe's diversity. Now, only one question remains. Would you wear these with or without socks? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Have a beautiful spring. See you in the next one.
Hey mama, it's been a while, but I think I finally see this life ain't about the thrills or the ways of society. I'm growing tired of all the things everybody says I should be. I just wanna be